Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to the Thursday edition of Cosmic Conversations, coming to you through the auspices of the larger Canon Network. I believe it's is that the Cosmic Awakening Network? Yes. And the website, who has the website? You can go onto the website to find out all the amazing things that you can access through the greater CAN network. Uh, we're recording live. This will go out on multiple platforms. So I guess if you're not in the live broadcast, I'm not talking to you now live. So anyway, we have a great broadcast for you. Great time. We've got Finbarr Ross, and it's funny when I inherited this podcast from Sheila. One of the first people I had in mind, I mean, right at the top of the list, or certainly near the top of the list, uh, was my dear friend Finbarr Ross. Um, just in terms of introduction, I'll let you sort of, as we proceed, we'll get to learn more about Finbarr and just how special this person is and how special he's been in my life. And I really am so glad we have this opportunity, Finbarr, to have you on the show on the podcast today. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Finbarr Ross to the broadcast. Hi, Finbarr. How you doing?
I'm great, Philip. Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it. I've known you for a long time, way back to 2005 in the Divine Feminine conferences.
Well, I was trying to remember now. Um,
Yeah,
that was 2005. That was in Reading. That was in the UK.
that's right. Yeah.
That was the Mary Magdalene conference, wasn't it?
Now, it was actually Divine Feminine, but
Oh, the
the
Divine
part,
Feminine.
a lot of it was about Mary Magdalene. Yes.
Right. Well, I tell you, you had some heavy hitters. That's where I
Yeah.
first met Kathleen in the flesh, Kathleen
Yeah.
McGowan. You had Margaret Starbird.
Yeah.
You had some real heavy hitters. Flo Magdalena. I met a lot
Yeah.
of these luminaries for the first time in the flesh there. That was a
And of course,
wonderful one.
We had Claire Hartsong,
Oh, and
who
Claire,
wrote
of
Anna,
course.
Grandmother of Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually had the grandmother of Jesus came. It was
Yes.
pretty amazing.
Oh, she's an
I
amazing
know.
lady.
She wrote Anna, grandmother of Jesus. Is she still
Yeah.
around, by the way?
She is, yeah. She's living in Redding in
And
California, but
she's
she's
still in
not in
Redding,
good health,
California. Wow.
unfortunately. Yeah.
So that's where we first met. Now I had heard of you. How did you first get wind? Let's make this all about me. What do you say tonight? How did you first get wind of me? How did you first hear of me? How did you first hear of me from?
I think Simon Peter Fuller. I think you
Oh,
came to me through
Simon
Simon
Peter.
Peter Fuller.
God, it's just all these
Yeah.
memories are flooding in, and
Yeah.
I think
He's,
we
of
met
course,
actually.
living now in Sri Lanka.
Wow.
And yeah,
And I think we actually met in the flesh for the first time in New York City. Bought me a steak. I'll never
that's
forget it. That's just Finbar is great. So tell everybody. Let's have people. There's a lot of people on the network that probably have heard of you. I don't know many people. They had that game 6 degrees of separation. I imagine it's probably only maybe 1 degree of separation. Anybody can mention anybody in various movements, spiritual, metaphysical, religious, that within 1 or 2 degrees of separation, they'll come across Finbar Ross. They'll come across sacred mystical journeys. Um, so tell everybody now, where are you now? Where do you reside now? I already know, but I want people to
I'm
know.
residing in Montrose, Colorado, and I have been in Montrose I'm in my 13th year in Montrose, and
Mm.
it means Mound of Mary. And about 35 miles away from me is the heart chakra of the United States and the San Juan Mountains. And
I
so
know.
I'm in a very spiritual place. I was guided there by Mother Mary, and she told me that that was the place for me to be. And of course, as you know, since 1990, actually tomorrow, the 15th, oh, it's not, it was the 15th of May, 1990, I have my first conscious experience with Mother Mary. I'm sure I was having them before then as well, but my first conscious was in 1990, 15th May 1990. And of course, tomorrow is the feast day of the Ascension of Mother Mary.
That's right. The 15th,
Yeah,
isn't it? That's right.
yeah.
The Mary's
And
Ascension to
so
heaven.
and
Really
then,
special.
you know, it went on where she taught me how to work the memory cells of the body, networking the body, and how you could cure all the various things with various, as you went into the memory cells of the body. And so that happened in 1992. And then it just has moved on from there to various things. And then in 2002, I started Sacred Mystical Journeys and taking people on sacred site tours to awaken their soul, because that's what sacred site tours does. It awakens the soul.
That's right. And it didn't occur to me, Finbar, that scheduling you for today of all days, or the eve of Mary's Assumption. And for those
Mm,
people that aren't familiar with it, this is the dogma anyway. Teaches that at the end of her time on Earth, am I right, Finbar? She was taken up
that's it.
literally in the body,
By the
body and
angels.
soul
Yeah,
into heaven, and she sits at Jesus's right hand, isn't it, as the
that's
Queen of
correct.
heaven and
Yeah.
earth. So, what do you think facilitated this having this open dialogue with Mary? Usually, it comes at a time in people's lives when sometimes it'll come through a near death experience or some kind of revelatory experience. Well, what do you think about that? The nature of revelation and your personal experience with Mary. How do you think that came about?
I was going through a very difficult time at that time because I was in Dallas and the property market had just collapsed in the late 80s, and everything that I owned was invested in real estate in Houston, Texas, and it totally and absolutely collapsed. And here I was with owing millions of dollars with properties that were worth about 50% of what they cost to build. And so it was not a good time to be in, in that part, in that business, you know. And it, you know, as you know, it's happened a couple of times since. It's happened again in 2008. You know, you have various cycles where things collapse. And unfortunately, I was caught up in that great collapse. And so, but it was a great awakening for me,
Hmm.
because then I met a spiritual group in Dallas, and that turned my life around in a way that was beyond anything I experienced. And they introduced me to Sancta Sophia Seminary, where I went for 4 years and was chief executive of this spiritual community and church and seminary and all of that for 4 years, which was an amazing experience living in a spiritual community. And then in 2002, I started Sacred Mystical Journeys, and it's moved along from there. And now on these journeys, my whole focus is on getting people to awaken to their soul's journey and understanding the journey of the soul. Because when you go on a spiritual journey, the minute you sign up for it or think about it, you've started that journey. And then it starts
Hmm.
to awaken different things within you. And if you think about it, the soul's journey starts way back before you come in, when you're in the waiting room up for departure from the world of spirit, and you have decided of what you want to come about, what experiences you want to have in the world and everything. And then you're up there in the departure lounge, and you're talking to all your friends and everybody else, and you say, who's going to help me to mold me and polish me as we go on this journey on the earth, to a journey of ascension, how we embody, how we create, how we integrate. And so all of this comes together. And this is a great thing about spiritual journeys. All of this comes out because it's a 2 week intensive, and you are immersed in a spiritual world for 2 weeks. And it is amazing. And it comes up, there all different things that I show people. I show them how to, when they wake up in the morning, some little quick exercises to do to awaken the body before you go to bed at night, how you set your intention for what you would like to happen. First thing in the morning before you get out of bed, you set your intention for the day. It's all about setting the intention and how you allow, and then, of course, the breath work and everything else that comes along with that. And so that's the great thing about doing a spiritual journey.
It is the great thing about it. You know,
Yeah.
we talk about the start of the spiritual journey. Do you think this has been an incarnational kind of thing? Do you think that in this life, you think you've been on this journey before, very similar to the journey you're on now, and this is a sort of continuation or an advancement of a journey you've been on for lifetimes? Yeah, so many
Oh,
people do feel that.
I definitely believe that. And sort of, I have been, say, to France. I have possibly done France of the
Mm.
last 23 years. I've possibly done it 45 times.
Well,
And
I'll tell you,
every
I've been on
time,
a couple of those journeys with you to
yeah,
France, and one of them I remember I got like sick the last couple of days. I think it was from all the rich food.
that was in
Finbar really
Paris.
knows how to
Yeah.
pick the finest hotels, the finest restaurants, and I kind of blame myself because I was eating everybody's dessert. But the experience really comes through. You know your way around the world. I mean, it's wonderful to go on one of these journeys with you because really there's a lots of room for improvisation. I remember, but nothing is really left to chance. I mean, you are the trips that you organize, they're so well thought out. They're done with such, you know, elegance and precision and real consciousness because they've been some of the most amazing experiences of my life, especially the experiences in France. You know, they've really been
But France is in it stands out there on its own as a major spiritual awakening. When we do all of the Mary Magdalene stuff and everything, and we connect in with Mary Magdalene and feel her energy and how she awakens all the things that are happening within you and how she pulls the strings, as I call them, the chords, and she
yeah.
pulls those chords, and you get your awakening on that journey. It To me, it is you know, a profound journey. Going to Uluru is another amazing
Mm,
place to go to. India, of course, is amazing. I love to do India, like going to places like Varanasi and Darjeeling
mm,
and all of these amazing places, and have ceremony out in the Ganges. We did a ceremony out in the Ganges on the 20th of March 2020 and flew out of Delhi that night. We were on the last plane out of Delhi. We were on three different planes going different places, but I was on the very last American plane to leave Delhi. And all the tours left on the 17th of March. And we were the only tour group left in any hotel. And I said to Mother Mary, I'm supposed to do this gateway opening on the Ganges at sunrise on the 20th. What am I going to do? She said, go ahead and do it. You're divinely protected. You're on a divine mission and you will have no problems. And that's exactly what we did. And we had no problems. Everybody went with me except one lady. One lady 2 days before freaked out and decided she was going to go. But everybody else came. And that's the whole thing about leading a tour, in that the people have to have trust and faith in you that you're going to take care of them. And I told everybody, I will get you home because
Well,
I
I'll
knew I
tell
was
you,
going to
yeah,
get
I
everybody
tell
home.
you, I have trust and faith. I know you and your trips, they're divinely guided, protected. But I think I will sit out bathing. I think I'll sit out ceremony in the Ganges. I'm just too, I just, as much as I love you and I know it's under divine guidance and protection, you're not going to find me in the Ganges anytime soon. But, there's, but it really, really is true. The feeling that one gets on one of your journeys. The reason that you don't call it sacred mystical journeys for nothing, they really are special. And I think, and what I remember, and the people that are chosen, a lot of people hear the call.
Mm.
And then, you know, like fewer called and even fewer are chosen that make this trip. I believe this is under divine contract. I really, really do. It's for all of us to make this trip together and to have these experiences together under divine stewardship. I think you're a very special custodian and guardian of some very, very special knowledge. I always felt that with you. And so, but are you doing this now? You used to do, how many trips do you do? You've cut down a little
I've
bit
cut down.
on the
I
trips you
used to
would
do
do.
10 trips a year. And
Mm,
since COVID, I've gone down to four. I do lead for myself, and then I have customized tours that I do for other people. But the only customized tour that I go on is the one with Dr. Sue Morter. And so when I'm doing a tour for her, I go with her because our thinking, our philosophies are
mm,
very, very similar. And so if I go with somebody else, they have their own interpretation, they have their own way of teaching and everything. And I prefer just to send a guide with them who will help them, who's like a tour manager for them. And then with Dr. Sue, I go and we co-create together. In a way, I start off talking about something and she will take it from there, depending on where I decide to, you know, leave
yeah,
off
I
and
mean,
she can start. And she
you,
takes it to
mhm.
another level because she is the most, like, I thought I knew a lot about the soul until I met her. And she took me to a level of understanding the soul that I had not experienced before. I knew there was more there about the soul, but she
Mm,
has taken me to the whole thing. She actually taught me all about what I'm talking about when you're up in the departure lounge waiting to come down and how you set up all your stuff for all the experiences that you want to have in this lifetime and how you're going to get people to polish it because everybody that creates a challenge for you or anything like that is helping to polish you. You have a contract with them to create that, to allow you to have that experience. Don't forget, we choose our own parents. We choose all the different things. We choose our experiences. And that's why our intention every morning when we wake up, the first thing when we are grateful for arriving in the world
mm.
today, we rebirthed again. We set our intention for a beautiful day, knowing that it's going to be one of love and peace and understanding. And it just brings forth so many things. And then you have, of course, you have all the full moons and the new moons and the eclipses, and then you have the eight spokes of the wheel of the year, all different energies that you got to watch and look and take care of. And then you have Mercury retrograde. So you have, if you think about all of those and see how they affect your life and how you can embrace them and embody them. It's all about, and it's about embodying. The most important thing is forgiveness, gratitude,
Mm,
and
mm.
forgiving yourself, your shadow, embodying the shadow. Because once you embody the shadow, your life changes. If you have an anger issue or you have, abandonment issue, if you have whatever the issue is, if you embody it, it disappears. And
Yeah,
if
we
it
talk
might
about
take
that a
you
lot.
a week to embody it, or it might take you a little longer, but once you embody it, it goes away. And that's it. Like I had one with anger myself, and it took me a couple of weeks to embody the anger. And then, you'd catch yourself starting to get angry, and then and you'd feel the love in your heart and you'd let it go. And then you just embodied all that anger. And when you embodied it, the anger disappeared. There is no more anger.
You, Finbar Ross, anger issues? No, no. But you know
Oh,
what? You're
yes.
right. But you're so right. There is. This is
Oh,
it,
yeah.
it's a matter.
But we
That's
all
why
have
I think
different
I felt so
issues.
safe on your trips because you or whatever is co-created through your guardianship and stewardship,
Yeah.
I think it provides that safe space where you
Well, yeah.
can, where it
You know,
can
different
happen.
beings come in to help me. You know, there's all
Mm,
sorts of different beings around every day that help me. Like I'm in, you know who Vera Stanley Alder is?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm in Egypt, and the day I arrived in Egypt, I'm just sitting down, and the next thing I have Vera Stanley Alder arrive, and she says, "I'm going to be your guide while you're here." And I sure she was with me every single solitary day. And I would be walking out of the room in the morning and she'd say, "Don't forget your bell." And I'd say, "I don't need the bell today." She says, "Yes, you will." And I would take the bell and suddenly, or I'd take
Yeah.
my wand, whatever it was that I was forgetting, she would tell me. And I hadn't planned to use that at all that day. And sure enough, I would use it. And she guided me for the whole, every single moment of that trip in Egypt. She was with me. And you get different beings like that that will come in from time to time and tell you, you know, this morning I was catching a 7:15 flight out of Montrose to come to Dallas, and I walking out the door, and the being said to me, "I think you've forgotten something." And I went back, and sure enough, I had forgotten something. Told me, walked me back into the house to exactly where it was. And I looked on my desk and went, "Oh my God, I had some, a check to give to somebody, and I'd left the check sitting on my desk."
Well, that's one
And
of the things I love about you. You will yield. There are people out there that just as evolved as they are, think they are, it seems that they have difficulty yielding to higher guidance, you
yeah,
know? And I think
you
that's
have
really,
to listen to
that's
the
really
gut.
important.
You have to listen to the gut. Don't forget that, you know, everything comes up through the soles of your feet from the mother. And as it comes up through the soles of your feet, it hits your gut. And you have billions of hits all day long that's happening. And then every time you go against your gut, things
Mm,
go wrong
yeah.
in your life, you know. And I'll tell you another thing. You know, we lost our connection with the earth way back in the 1960s when they invented the sneaker. Because before that, we all virtually wore leather sole shoes, and we were connected to the earth. And when they brought in the sneaker and everything else, now you have this piece of rubber or whatever it is, synthetic, whatever, in between you and Mother Earth. So there's a cushion in between you and your connection to the earth. So I wear leather sole shoes as much as I possibly can because you are basically, or if you can go barefoot in the grass, you're even better still. And it connects you, and you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you embody. And then when you do your breath work and you bring yourself down, say you're breathing from the eighth chakra all the way down into your gut, and then you drop it from your gut through your base chakra down your legs into the earth and drop it down about 2 feet into the earth, and then take a breath about 2 feet down in the earth and bring it back up into the gut, and then back up and out through the crown chakra and repeat it again. And if you do that for 10 minutes a day, it changes your life and your health.
That's right. Well, I guess you're not going to be hearing from Nike anytime soon
No,
for
I,
endorsement deals. No, but Finbar, that's just what escapes so many people that there are so many simple remedies. Just understanding simple cause and effect, or understanding the difference between direct cause and effect and correlate. The thing with the sneakers,
yeah,
such a simple alteration and in consciousness that you're blocking this connection, just the same as the gut, the solar plexus, abdominal breathing, so many of the things that you talk about. they seem so common sensey to us, but yet
Yeah,
there are the people that either refuse or what's blocking them from just being open to these suggestions. There are so many things that are keeping us still separated, like the forgiveness and gratitude. There are
yeah,
so many people that are just giving lip service to it, but these are the essentials. Some people might call it old school, but this is you go back to basics. This when you talk about the shadow, we do a lot of shadow work in our work too. These are the real important things, aren't they? That
yeah.
really need
And
to be
it's
addressed.
yeah, and it's about listening to the messages that you get. Like I got a message. I have a sister that's 3 years older than me, and I get a message on the 31st of March that she was going to be in hospital in June. And I told one of my sisters, and I was in Ireland 2 weeks ago, and I'm visiting my brother and my sister-in-law. And I said to her, well, I knew on the 31st of March that Anna was going into hospital in June. Well, I won't tell you what she said to me, but she just did not believe anything that I say. She does not believe in any of the healing things that I do or any of the remedies that I would give or anything like that. And there are so many things how you can cure so many things with,
Mm.
you know, and I suppose the great thing about, you know, doing tours is that you have people who get, they get the pain in their, knee or whatever their knee is sore, and you can fix it with essential oils. It's very simple to fix it. Or you can do it with silica gel. There are all natural products. I carry a whole natural product thing with me.
Yeah.
And like if you have anybody with food poisoning, or like when you're in places like India, but very rarely now do you get food poisoning in India. But you can in Nepal, at various places when you're in some of these countries, you can actually. So all you have to take is slippery elm, give them slippery elm
Yeah.
tea.
Yeah,
And
remember how bloated I got those last couple of days in Paris, that last trip?
yeah,
My God. But we didn't have access. I remember you had made some recommendations, herbal recommendations, but I don't think we had access
we
to them.
didn't
When
have,
I
and I
finally
didn't.
did, your advice was absolutely golden. And the
Yeah,
bloating went down right away. Man,
yeah,
was that scary. But
yeah.
so what do you do to people? How do you break through resistance? Because you must encounter levels of resistance, people that are just, they just cannot seem to hear or be open to hearing
I
guidance.
just say it and leave it. There's a, I, you
Yeah.
either accept it or you don't.
Yeah,
And,
that's it. That's what it comes down to,
uh,
doesn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like during COVID, I had a cure. I used to tell people, this is what you do if you get COVID. This is what you do if you want to prevent yourself getting COVID. And this friend of mine, anyway, he got COVID and he went to the doctor and everything else. And everything he got from the doctor didn't work for him. So he calls me and I said, but he already gave you the formula for what to
Mm.
do. And I said, why didn't you take it? And he said, because I thought it was too simple. And all natural cures are simple. If you think back to the old days of the Druids, everything that they worked basically came from the berry from the yew tree. They made all sorts of different tinctures of the berries from the yew tree,
That's
cured
right.
all sorts of
Didn't Hannah
diseases.
Kroger say wherever you are within 50 feet or 50 meters is everything you need if you know how to use it?
Yeah.
You know?
And, as we ascend in consciousness, our body we have less and less disease coming. And, we're going through a major cleansing, sort of in 2012, we entered a whole new period, going through the 13 gates of awakening consciousness. And now we're going through 10 years of integration. And this year is about integrating with the self. Next year, it's about integrating with our freedom. And so I don't know what it is for 2027 yet. I will know that sometime in the next month or so. Usually around September, I'm told what it's going to be for the following year. And so this is where we're going. We have 10 years of integration, which will bring us up to 2035. And then we're going to have another shift. I don't know what the shift will be at that time. I know that in 2038, we're going to have something massive happen, but I don't know what it is yet. But I know I think it might be the final crossing into the Aquarian age, that it will be like a humongous shift
Yeah,
in
I
consciousness.
remember, if you're okay talking about it, just before we went on air, we talked about America and Russia, Trump, Putin, and we talked about it in terms of astrology. I thought I had not heard that before, and I thought that was some of the most fascinating information that I've heard. It really puts a new light, or a different light, or a higher light, or an elevated perspective on what's really happening now on the world stage. Would you like to talk about that? And plus, also, I'd like you to mention or put in the chat. I know you do monthly full moon meditations. I would really want people here live and the people that would access this broadcast later, this podcast, to be able to have the link that they can join you on these monthly meditations because they're absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, I do a weekly meditation,
A
usually
weekly
every Wednesday
meditation.
if
All
I'm
right.
not
Yeah.
on a tour, and I do the full moon meditations. But if they go to my website, sacredmysticaljourneys.com, they can sign up for the newsletter and they will get all of the different uh, ceremonies and everything, tours, meditations, everything that are happening. And okay, Russia. There are three Aquarian nations in the world.
This is good
There's
stuff.
Holland, there is the United States, and there is Russia. And then you have, and it's very interesting that here we are, and people don't understand Russia. And Russia is only 35 years old. You think about the modern day Russia, it's only 35 years old. Look at America. It's still a young country, but it's a little older than Russia. If you take the modern Russia, it's only 35 years. And they have, you know, look at how long it took America to get to where it is today. And America is supposed to be with its Aquarian soul, because America, Russia, and Holland, as I said, have Aquarian souls. America is supposed to be the leader of the new world, the spiritual leader of the new world. It has a little problem in that it has an Aquarian personality. So you have to fathom out which is the tricksters are out on any given day. And so it is like the coming together in America is like coming together of the divine feminine. Because once you get that Gemini to come together in peace and harmony, you're going to have peace in the world. But then you have people like, there's various prophecies and everything else that says Russia will be the savior of the world. And Russia has, you know, tremendous resources and everything else in the world. I have been to Russia. It's a very peaceful nation, a very loving nation. The people are very loving. You have to look at a country outside of their governments. Look at the people, like America. You have to look at the people in America or in Ireland or wherever, separate from the government. I am not a great lover of government because I don't think that they serve the people and in the way that they're supposed to serve, because it's like in the spiritual world, you have to love yourself before you can love anybody else. you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else. But our governments do not take care of themselves. They do not take care of us. They have their own agenda and definitely we are not part of that agenda, other than trying to control us into what they feel that we should be. And of course, that is all blowing up in the world now because we're in the end days. And we are claiming our sovereignty, our freedom, and we're speaking our truth. And this is a time of truth. And you have ray two, of the seven rays, which we are all part of, because as we awaken, that energy goes into ray two, and that is creating the new, I suppose you call it the blueprint for what's happening. And then you have ray three, which is the builder of that. And so and then you have ray four coming alive as well now. Harmony through conflict. Everything is coming out in harmony. It is awakening. You have different rays waking up, and then you have ray six, which is the ray that most of us were born under, and most popular ray in the world today. But it's a dying ray because it's all about fundamentalism and all things like that. That is dying. And so we're in this time of the final hurrah, where we're going to have the birthing. Like there's no magical Jesus coming down to reawaken us. It is happening within ourselves. Everything that is happening within. We're on an inner journey, and it's taking us within ourselves as we claim our freedom, our sovereignty, as we speak our truth, we change and we express. And as we send that out into the world changes. We are the change agents of the world. We cannot blame anybody else for what's going on in the world because we are part of it. And the people that are not awake are still going to be, so they're going to be where they are. And so it is up to all of the people that are awake, no matter what, to let go of judgment. And that, like, you can say what you want about Trump, but he is awakening a lot of people to a lot of things. And so the thing is that you just bless him and say, because what you're doing is you're blessing America and allowing America. If you sit in judgment of him or anybody else, that's something that a vibration you're sending out into the world. Whereas if you say everything will work in divine order, and I bless everything that he's doing and allow it to be, and then you're sending beautifully. All we have to do is sit and be a beacon of light out into the world. And when we're a beacon of light out into the world changes. We don't have to do anything other than we can sit at home and just be a beacon of light and send it out into the world. It's like the golden flame of illumination. And it's an ancient Lemurian flame that came back in 2012. We've lost the picture, Phil. So Phil has gone on a sabbatical.
No, I
Oh,
had
he's
to
back.
plug something in. No, but you're right. There are a lot of people that want to flee. They want to, or even leave the country without realizing that there's a higher perspective here. There is healing that needs to be done. And
Yeah,
we, each and every one of us, have a responsibility to ourselves and by extension to the land that either we're born on or that we've chosen to be at this particular
yeah,
time, this critical time of this juncture in our tenure here as embodied souls. We can help. We can all help, you know.
yeah,
It's interesting that that where you chose to live so close to the heart of the planet.
yeah. I want to
Mm.
read you something about the second ray. It's the
Okay.
second ray of healing. It's love wisdom. It's about love wisdom. And of course, we are a love wisdom planet. And so, beloved, I am presence, blaze forth from the heart of beloved Alpha and Omega, from the beloved heart of Helios and Vesta. Into our individual hearts and minds, glorious waves of golden flame of illumination and peace. Flood us with your precious oils of universal knowledge and wisdom. Come now and direct thy precious light rays of divine illumination and peace into every aspect of our lives. Flood the earth and humanity with the golden flame of Christ's illumination, understanding and peace from the heart of God in the great central sun. Divine flame of illumination, bless my world today. Golden waves of peace, bless my world in God's perfect way. Golden flame of light, so wondrous to behold. I am thy wisdom in all that I am. Golden fountain of illumination, infuse every part of my being with thy golden oil. I am, I am, I am. Illumination blazing through my heart, mind, and soul. And that is what we are supposed to be. And that is what creates the energy for Master Katumi and Ray 2 to create the
Mm,
blueprint of where the planet is going.
mm,
And then you have Ray 3, which is, Paul the Venetian,
right.
who is the builder of everything that's created in Ray 2. And then you have, of course, Ray 1, which is destroying all outmoded ideas and institutions that no longer serve humanity. And so you have all of these wonderful things happening, and you have all the different masters and everything else taking place. You know, I was in the Wesak Festival. I was in Tibet for the Wesak Festival this year. And the main reason I went there was it was the 100-year conclave of the Great White Brotherhood that was taking place at that time. And it is said that they would, at that meeting, allow or tell us when we would see the masters walking amongst us again. And I asked, when was that going to happen? And I got told 7. And then I got that it was 7 years. And I was given the order in which the masters would arrive. And now I have it written down here somewhere if I can find it easily. And it was an amazing, powerful experience to be up there at
Mm,
15,500 feet and experience the whole Wesak Festival and the Buddha and
mm.
Lord Maitreya coming and helping us. And I I wrote it down, and that word should not be used. But anyway, um, I will find it out for you and let you know, Phil,
Oh, that would
what
be
the
great. It
thing.
would be great to let everybody know, being the living embodiment of those words
Yeah,
and
and
revisiting the science of the rays. It's timeless and probably more pertinent than ever. That
it
we
is
understand
because
just
everything.
how advanced, and not even advanced, just how pertinent and perplexing and wonderful. William Burroughs said, America is not a young land. It's old and dirty. Before the settlers, before the Indians, the evil was there, we're just waiting. But so is the beauty. And
Yeah,
these words, they will bring out the beauty, the rays these are the rays of creation. This is the art and science of creation and consciousness and ultimately our ascension, and I wish more people would just have the patience and the self-forgiveness and to really understand that this is the work that we're here to do, Finbar?
yeah. Wait, here, the most important thing to me is forgiveness,
You bet.
because forgiveness and gratitude are
That's
two
it.
amazing things because they allow the beauty of the soul to come forward. Because if you can't forgive and letting go of judgment, judging somebody, well, oh, look at him, look at what he's wearing, look at this, look at that. It's like, and what you're doing is you're coming into bringing gossip into it. And then the next thing that happens is, when you create an energy and you're out there gossiping about somebody, then what are you doing? You have another creating that energy out in the world, and there's people gossiping about you. And gossiping is a very destructive thing.
Oh,
And
yes.
and when I lived in the spiritual community, that was the biggest problem we had was gossip. There was only 250 people living in the village, but it was a huge problem. And it got to the stage where I created this sheet and put it in the gift shop. And I had my gossip ambassador, who was the lady in the gift shop. And when people would be in the gift shop gossiping, she would just hand them the sheet. It was about like how it destroys marriages, all the different things that gossip can do. It can do terrible damage, and
It
it's
is,
not
it's,
true at
yeah,
all.
it is you're right, it is one of the most destructive forces
Yeah,
in creation. But then again, we have the free will. We've been given
yeah,
the free will to use. I don't know how much of our free will. I think a lot of our job is liberating our will and
yes,
learning these things and learning how to conduct ourselves with honesty, with integrity, authenticity, honesty. It's tough love for a lot of people,
yeah,
to understand how far they can go if they don't understand the true nature of forgiveness and gratitude
yeah.
above all, right? Finbar, we got to start getting the closing now. But I
Okay,
wanted to, we're going to have to do this again very soon. There's just so much to, as
okay.
they say, unpack. Is there any places that I know you've skimmed down on trips in recent times? Is there any place that has revealed itself to you that you had not gone before that you think you might want to organize a trip to that you hadn't
Oh,
previously?
that's Australia. I went to Australia for the first time this year, and I'm going back again in 2027.
Yeah.
It was a
Uluru is
most
amazing. I've been to Uluru. I was for the
oh,
harmonic concordance. I was at
yeah.
Uluru. That was
It
pretty
was
amazing.
absolutely amazing. I was there for their winter solstice or summer solstice,
Mm.
and we did an integration meditation of the north and the south. It was spirit guided. I was told to be there. Like in 2023, I was told that at June 2025, you need to be at Uluru and do an integration meditation
Mm.
of the North and the South. At that stage, that was before I ever knew we were entering 10 years of integration. And so
Mm.
here we are at the time of balance and creating integration of the North and the South. It was like an amazing experience.
People have to
And
be
it
patient, don't they, at these times of
yeah.
integration and assimilation
And
with
according to the
transformation.
people that were with me, the holds, my little talk and ceremony and meditation and everything lasted for 1 hour and 11 minutes.
Now, where are you off to next, Finbar?
I'm going to France next month with
Oh,
Dr. Sue.
no.
And then next year in February, I'm doing India. In July, I'm doing Scotland.
Mm.
In end of September, I'm doing France. And then after that, I'm doing Egypt. And I'm looking like I will more than likely do 5 tours next year. And I want to do back to Thailand, Cambodia, and
Mm.
Laos. I've done Thailand, Cambodia, and Myanmar, but I want to do Laos now. So
Yeah.
at
And
Laos.
Malta, you've done once or twice now, is it
Oh,
now? Malta and
I've done
Sicily?
Malta and Sicily several times. Yeah,
Yeah. That was a
that's an
good,
amazing. Yeah,
wasn't it? Fantastic. Malta is very
yeah,
special. So where can
yeah.
people get information on these sacred mystical journeys and you?
Okay. Sacredmysticaljourneys.com. And
Okay.
so, And
And the weekly meditations, the full moon
that
meditations.
is all there. They can sign up for the newsletter and they get all the information every week and what my talk is going. I talk for about 20 minutes before the meditations, and then
Mm.
sometimes it goes a little longer. It depends on if people ask questions and how many. Sometimes it goes to, an hour. And then the
Yeah.
meditation after that and everything else. Depends on if there's
Yeah.
who asks the questions. It's important for people to ask questions because it opens up a whole new energy and everything
Mm.
that is flowing in the world.
The question is the key that opens the gate, isn't it? That opens the lock.
That's it.
The answer is
Yes.
embedded in the question. So let's open it up. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Now, I know Joanne has been on a sacred mystical journey with our Finbarr here. Joanne, unmute yourself. And if you have any question, just raise your hand. We have about 10 more minutes.
Well, I went to France with Finbar, and that was an amazing journey. I learned a lot. I learned a lot. We went to a lot of amazing places, and I'm hoping to do a couple more journeys with him. I really want to go to India when the timing is right, and I really want to go to Australia with him.
Well, that's
So
I'll be
I know I'm going to do a few more journeys with him,
well,
and I would
I'll
recommend.
definitely be there. I mean, being in Singapore in this part of the world, if this being in this hub of Southeast Asia, it really does give you access to some interesting places.
When's Thailand? What time of the year is Thailand going to be?
November.
November of 2026, right? No, yeah,
Yes.
2026.
November 2026.
That's a possibility. I
Mm.
know I'm going to do Australia in 2000 because Australia is probably going to be in June.
In June. Yes.
Good time to go. Yeah.
Because the
Yeah,
weather is
so
good at that time. Yeah.
and do you think you'll do India one more time in 2027?
Oh, I possibly will. I've been doing indie every year, so I more than likely will.
That's fantastic. Does anybody have
India is
any?
magical. I have about 4 different tours of India.
Mm,
Different, there's different things you can do in India, and I'm going to do a tour to um, Nepal and Bhutan. I'm going to
mm.
do that. I've already done Nepal and Tibet, and I'm going to do Nepal and Bhutan next.
Well, I get you live at
That's
high altitude, so I guess that helps a little.
Yeah.
That's
But
good.
it does,
Anybody?
sort of there are very simple things, you know, essential oils like you know, um rosemary and lemon will open up everything for you to smell or the other amazing thing is chewing a little ginger. When like I had this woman up from Holland and we're up at 15,500 feet and she said, "Oh, I can't breathe, I can't breathe." And I said to her, "Well, why don't you chew a little ginger? I'll give you some ginger." And so I always carry raw ginger with me. And she couldn't believe it that it opened up everything for her so she could breathe. And ginger will do that for you. Some essential oils will do that for you. There's various things that you can do and that will help you with all of that. And so there's all sorts of different things. And so, you know, it's all about understanding and listening to your body. Your body
Mm,
will always tell you what's out of whack in your life. Like, your left shoulder will tell you that you're blaming yourself. Your right shoulder will tell you your false sense of responsibility. Your knees will tell you about forgiveness, understanding, and compassion for yourself. Your left ankle will tell you you're not nurturing and taking care of yourself. If you have trouble with your left ankle, you're not nurturing and taking care of yourself. And I get that from time to time. And then I know I have to, I need to have a look at what I'm doing. Am I not eating properly? Am I not having enough sleep? What is it that my ankle is telling me? And so If you listen to your body, like if you have trouble with your elbow, it's telling you you're going in the wrong direction. If all these wonderful things that our body can tell us about.
So does anybody else have any questions before we start the closing?
I have a
Anybody else?
question. I
Yes,
don't have a
Suze.
question, but this just so met my heart. I have to rethink though. I've traveled so much that I got to the rainforest here and I promised my inner child we wouldn't move anymore. But now listening to you, maybe maybe I'll pack my bags again. This was
Finbarr can
really,
definitely
really,
stimulate the wanderlust in anyone, I will tell you.
yeah,
You know.
very, very beautiful. I'm very grateful you came to us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next week we have on deck Dee Wallace. For those who don't know Dee, she played the mother in the film Spielberg's E.T. Although we may talk a little about the movie E.T., Dee has done a lot of work. She's on the circuit for years. She's written amazing books. She was just at the Contact in the Desert conference there. Dee is a really, really, really interesting person. I'm so glad we got her. Finbar, I want to thank you again. You want to take us home with a short meditation? We have about 2-3 minutes. And we'll see Finbar again. And please go to the website, Sacred Mystical Journeys, to learn more about what Finbar is doing. And
And
I
if you want
highly,
to
highly
learn
recommend it.
more about my life, I have a book called Sacred Mystical Journey.
Right.
And
That's
that's
like the
a
book.
book about my life and my experiences and
Yeah.
everything else. A lot of stuff about my experiences with Mother Mary and with different beings of light.
I'm
And
organizing,
so,
I'm on Finbar. I'm organizing a trip to Cranberry, New Jersey. Cranberry, New Jersey, especially for men with prostate problems. Um, I think it's going to be very, very healing, actually being in the cranberry capital of the world, there in South
well,
Central New Jersey. You know,
as you know, Phil, I have a vitamin company, and my best-selling
there
products are for prostate cancer.
you go.
Yep.
I know I
So,
brought it up for a reason.
yeah.
Okay.
So, if anybody wants to read about it, it's matrixnutrients.com. And they're all whole food nutrients. I have no chemicals of any description in any of my products. And so everything is a whole food, and it's in your bloodstream within 20 minutes of taking it.
Oh,
So,
Finbar, Father Ross, you are amazing. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to share with us. We'll definitely have to have you back again. If you want to, just take us home for the next 2 minutes. If you want to take
okay.
us through a short
So let
process.
us take a deep breath. Feel the beauty of who we are. A couple of deep breaths. And as you take those breaths, you feel a beautiful lotus in your heart. And now you see this lotus. And out of this lotus is emerging an amazing golden flame. And this golden flame is opening up all the cells of your body. You feel an energy flowing through each and every cell in your body, lifting you to a higher place of understanding, a place of divine love, because you are a being of divine love. And this golden flame is illuminating all of who you are. It is lifting you and sending the experience of your soul out into the world. You feel the beauty and magnificence of who you are, your divine essence, and it's lifting up from your heart up to your throat chakra and awakening the sound of your throat, the sound of your voice, and that emanates out into the world, creating peace and harmony because you are consciously aware of what you are saying. And you are choosing your words. You are allowing your words to be impeccable, to emanate out into the world as you chant, as you sing, as you feel the energy and the vibration of your divine essence. And that goes on up to your third eye. where you awaken all the gifts of the mother. And as you awaken all the gifts of the mother, clairvoyance, clairaudience, telepathy, our psychic abilities, our intuition, our inner vision, our creativity, and all of these gifts of the mother awaken us because they are embodied within us. And as they body and blend together, they bring great clarity to our life and awakening us to the beauty of who we are. And then the golden flame moves us on up to our crown chakra. And as it moves out to our crown chakra, it becomes the golden flame of illumination, illuminating the cosmos, connecting us with all of the planet and bathing the planet in the golden flame of illumination, burning up everything that no longer serves humanity. And as it burns up everything that no longer serves humanity, we are awakened to the beauty of the new world, to the new dispensation of the divine feminine of the Christ consciousness, awakening us to our purity, to our divine essence, to the journey of our soul. And as we awaken to the journey of our soul is liberated to continue its journey of ascension. And as it continues the journey of ascension, we're lifted up to a higher level of awakening and understanding. And we're embraced by the masters, by the Christ consciousness, by the divine feminine, all of which are now embodied within us. And we allow this beautiful energy to flow out into the world, creating peace and harmony, because we are the Christ of God. We are the energy of the divine feminine. We are the divine. So it is.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Finbarr. God bless you. God bless America. God bless us all. Thank you from me, Glenda, Matt, Sheila, and the Greater Can Network. We'll see you soon. Thank you again. God bless you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.